Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Ultimate Review by Purecast9. In today's episode, I'm going to give you my review of the Zivonics Ziv-730. So the people over at Zivonics reached out to me and they asked me, would you like to review one of our Bluetooth speakers? I was like, of course I would. So they sent this over to me and they wanted me to review it. So right from the start, let me just tell you that this is a review. They are not paying me. This is not a paid promotion. So I have the liberty of saying what I like about this speaker and what I don't. Starting off, let's just go over the build and some of the features. So feature wise, this is a 6 watt RMS speaker. So not the loudest in terms of RMS output, but we'll come to the sound test and I'll give you my verdict on how it sounds. Now it also has a 1500 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. It's got inbuilt FM. It's got a microphone for you to answer calls. It's also got a micro SD card slot. And apart from Bluetooth, you can obviously connect aux and they provide you with the cable, and it charges via micro USB. Now on the body, as you can see, it's got a metal mesh grill all around, which is covered by a rubber sleeve. Now this sleeve feels really good to the touch. It's got a matte finish. It's really grippy, so it doesn't slip out of your hand. And at the bottom, you have a flap which houses the micro SD card slot, the aux port, and the micro USB port for charging this device. Now up top you have the multifunction control buttons. So the usual, the power button, the play pause button, the volume rockers. Do give the manual a read because they explain very nicely how you will set up the FM. FM reception indoors was very good, and once set, it remembers all the channels, so that's very good. So now with that out of the way, let's get into the sound test. I'm going to play a few tracks, you guys form your judgment. Once we are done, I'm going to come back and give you my verdict on how it sounded in person, how it performed in 3 frequencies, the highs, the mids and the lows, and ultimately, should you get it. So let's get straight into the sound test.
While you and me repeat, this bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
there you have it, guys. That was the sound test of the Zivonics Ziv-730. Now I hope you got a good impression of how it sounds. Now let me give you my verdict. So like I always do, I'm going to categorize it into the highs, the mids and the lows, which broadly make up for the sound that you hear. Now before we get into dissecting the frequencies, let me tell you, in terms of loudness, it's a 6 watt RMS speaker, and it's not the loudest speaker by any means, but it's definitely not really low volume as well. At max volume, which you heard in the test, for my medium-sized studio right here, it was decent. Not really room filling, but it was decent. So this mainly would cater to listening to it up close. If you've got a small gathering of friends and you're sitting all around, this is good. Because of this design, it's got a almost 360-degree sound experience. So regardless of where you're sitting, you almost get equal sound. Now let's get into the frequencies. Starting off with the highs. The highs are very balanced. Actually, all of the 3 frequencies are very balanced. It does not stress specifically on any frequency. But what struck me pleasantly was that the highs are not over sharpened. They don't sound artificial, don't sound unpleasant to your ears, and they've gone with the tuning of the speaker drivers inside in such that the highs don't distort even when playing at full volume. So when you heard the test, and even my previous testing before I presented this, all the tracks that I've heard, the highs did not distort or crackle even once, even at max volume. Maybe out of 10 tracks, 1 might, but that was a very rare occasion, but I would say it performed really well. So highs, very pleasant, not over-processed, sound good. Now coming to the mids where the vocals lie, this is where I really was impressed because the vocals sounded very, very pleasing. Again, no extra stress on the vocals, no over-sharpening, nothing that distorts at max volume. It handles the vocals or the mids very nicely, very pleasing to the ears, and very, very balanced. So mids, also very good. Now coming to the lows or the bass, they claim that there is a passive subwoofer inside. Now the bass is, for a bass head out there, it is very underwhelming. Alright, so it's not by any means a very bass heavy Bluetooth speaker. Like I said, it's a very balanced Bluetooth speaker, so it's not going to give any extra stress on the lows. There is no extra thump or punchy bass, but it's there. I'm not saying it's absent. So when you're listening to it up close, and if you listen to a wide genre of music, especially fusion or classical, this is very, very good. Even for your Bollywood songs and whatever, it's going to sound very pleasing. So for someone who's a bass head, this might not be the ideal choice, but for someone who does like that balanced sound signature, this is really, really impressive, and it does get my seal of buy with confidence. So guys, that was the review of the Zivonics Ziv-730. Definitely do check them out. The link to this product is in the description below. You can get it from Amazon. If you do decide to buy this speaker, I would really appreciate if you use the link given below, because it will help me run this channel and I can produce more and more content just for you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hit like on the way out, subscribe to PRcast9, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.